Hi, I'm Donna Thompson and welcome to my backyard. I want to share a little bit with you about the sustainability practices that my family has adopted. About a year ago, we bought an old home and moved into it and have spent the last year passionately restoring it to its former glory. Every little detail, thinking about how to be good stewards of the earth. But along with an old house came an old yard full of stuff. And there were overgrown trees and shrubs, just so many things that needed to be done out here. But through this giant project of our home, we really didn't have time to get out here and tackle this until COVID-19 happened. And then we were sitting here with a great opportunity to think, how do we use all the things in our yard to build our first garden in our new home? We found so many things, from a bookshelf in the garage that didn't have any kind of weird paint or anything on it that will leach into the soil. We were able to just put it right on top of the ground and solve the issue that we had of not having any amendments to put in it. We'd only been here a year, we'd been so busy, our compost pile was really not doing enough to make that soil wonderful and draining really well. But when we made a really great raised bed, it kind of took care of that whole problem. And so that was just a wonderful thing. It was just sitting in our garage waiting for us really to take it out and make it good and useful again. We found these posts here, right here, and all of this wire meshing or fencing. It was like a border fence up underneath the bushes out here in our yard. We were able to make this wonderful teepee. And it will be a great structure for our butternut squash to grow up vertically. We'll get it off the ground so that we can use underneath that space as a place to grow some spinach and lettuce when it gets a little bit hotter out here. These posts right here were just some old trees that had grown around in the yard and sticks and things, and we have made tomato cages out of them. And then when our flooring was done last year, we had a lot of pieces that were left over, a lot of little metal pieces. And what do you do with these things, right? Well, of course, we put them in the garage, but we were able to use them to make a little gate for our enclosure that went around our garden, because the birds and the squirrels here are ruthless. They have no mercy. They will take anything and eat it. So we put that around there. We also use these things. These are really fun. I love these. These are just old CDs, and apparently they confuse the birds, which frankly at this point, if you can confuse them just enough to keep them off of my seedlings, I'm happy about that. So we put those on and they seem to be working really well. But another fun thing to do was something that, like, who uses a CD anymore? Not too many people. So we have them in an old drawer and we're like, yeah, we're putting them to use. These will definitely go outside. Another fun thing that happened during a pretty serious time in our country was that we were wanting some basil, and we had a sharper because we really didn't leave our home. So we wanted some fresh basil for dinner, and we just asked. I thought, we'll just ask. I mean, who knows? Maybe they find it, right? And I didn't think they would. But anyway, he wrote back, yeah, I found some. And he was pretty excited. Well, then me being me, of course, said, well, can you find like a plant? Because if you can find a plant, I can plant that. And the guy, ... But he wrote back finally and said, I found one. And he was so excited, and I was so excited when it showed up. It just felt like $1 million was sitting on my doorstep. So I sat it in the window, I let it grow, let that sunshine get to it, watered it well. And then when it was time to put it out here, I put it in the ground and it is thriving. But in the meantime, while I was waiting for it to come out here, I also took a root, a cutting, and put it in a glass of water, changed that water every day, and I thought to myself, if I can get this thing to root, we will have enough basil for our family who loves basil to last through the whole summer. And that's what I did, and it works. People online were very helpful telling me how to go about this, because I really didn't know how. And it's basically as simple as you put it in a glass of water, sit in a window that's not sunny, and let it root for about 2 weeks, and you got a plant. You just put it in the ground. It's pretty awesome. So my husband got really encouraged by the romaine lettuce thing, where if you cut it off at the bottom, the little part, and I'll show you the picture of that, you can put that in a glass of water and do the same thing. It just starts growing from the top. It's not gonna grow a whole head of lettuce, so don't think that, but it will give you some microgreens, and that's really cool. A great way to stretch that food budget. You will have something sitting in your window and then later in your yard that you can eat, which is amazing. And you won't have to be calling that guy at the store to ask him to bring you some more, or going to the store and getting it yourself. You'll just have it there. So I hope we've encouraged you, from our family to your family, to get out and try and figure out what's in your yard, what's in your garage. What can you do creatively to use your resources to make the world a better place in your own backyard? Nashville, show us what you got. Send your videos. We want to see them.